My name is Guillermo Huete, and I'm the owner of Webo Pressure Cleaning LLC. Um, I have a website which is webopressurecleaning.com. That's WEBO pressurecleaning.com. And my phone number is 561-928-2577 for all your cleaning services.
Diversified game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, oh yeah, I got you guys who say, man, I'm looking for somebody in pressure cleaning. Who can I trust? Who will come? Who won't try to gouge me? Well, Webo, I can confirm and validate they do great work, because here in my outside office, they took care of it, and I have the owner on the line. So he's going to give us the game on how he started, sustained, succeeded. For you young men, or maybe you older men who say, man, I'm trying to get into that, listen up, take notes, rewind, ask AI. Let's get going. How you doing, my bro? How you doing today?
I'm feeling great, man. Thank you for having me today.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad to have you. And can you let people know, because this is your business is one of those businesses I think people sleep on, but then you'll catch a video and someone say, "Oh, I just made $36,000 a month," and these are usually 21-year-olds, right? But give us the game on how you got into it here in South Florida.
Well, yeah, it's a funny story, I think, because I was 23 years in the automotive industry, um, primarily in management, financing, sales, all that stuff. I did throughout my career. And one day, after a 10-year employment at a company, there was a new management company came in, and they basically cleaned house. And I was one of the house clean people. So I started pondering about my life and stuff like that, and I was just like, you know what? I always enjoyed cleaning and like pressure washing my house, and I just love to see that restoration of it. So I started doing that when I was laid off, and I just figured I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I was just like, you know what? I can just do this as like, you know, for fun or for a business or something that I enjoy how to do, right? I enjoy being outside. So I started DIYing it. I put a little trailer together. I did all this, and got all the equipment, and next thing I put myself out there on Fountain Tech and some of these uh, applications, and I start to get a little business and start to get rolling. And I was like, man, I really enjoy this, and it just kind of became a business from there. It was fun. I enjoy it.
At what level did you know you had a business where you could say, hey, I can pay my bills with this? Did it all just come where you were getting hit every day, and at what
No.
level? Yeah.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And I reached out to uh a lot of people that had home services business. And you did a lot of YouTube, obviously. Everybody does a lot of YouTube University, and I learned a lot from that. And then I talked to a lot of guys that have, like, lawn services and other home service business, window cleaning, things like that. And they just kind of gave me advice. I'm like, how did you get started? How do you get your leads? How do you do this? How do you do that? And they told me, hey, do this, hey, do that, go to do this. And little by little, you start doing all those little things, and you start to see what works. What you post, how you post it, how you change it, what do you do? Look at your competitors, and you just kind of just start growing from there. And at some point it starts to start rolling. You start to get your Google reviews. You start to get, clients that like your work, and you get the before and after pictures, and they're nice, and I guess people like their houses cleaned and their decks clean, and it looks good. I love the way it comes out. It's just a feeling that you get when you see that dirt and mildew and mold all come off. It's, for me, I don't know, I get excited about it. Yeah, I just love seeing it after I'm done with it. Like, it's an accomplishment for me.
Definitely, definitely. And we definitely appreciate your work, because like I told you in person, I said, I have a pressure washer. I bought the equipment.
Right.
I got everything there. But it takes enough time for me to exit everything out of here so you can have a clean area. By the time I exit things out, I got 5 other things that I got to do, and a lot of it is kids, wife, work, clients. They want this, they want that. I don't have always the time to do it in excellence as well. So, it's a service that's needed. But I want to go back to that. And this is for that young man who says, man, if I got 5 or 10 clients, could this be a business, or am I going to have 50 clients to make this happen, to stop doing what I'm doing?
Well, I'm glad you brought up the point of the you don't have the time, right? So it's pressure washing is not difficult, but like you said, many people don't have the time or don't have the proper equipment to do it or don't know how to do it. Because I can't tell you how many clients I've gone to where they've attempted. They've attempted to clean certain things and they just haven't been able to. And I can see, some kind of work tried to be done, but it wasn't done properly because they don't have the proper equipment. So yes, time is one of those things. Home services business, to me, I feel will never be taken over by AI, like you mentioned before, right? So you're always going to need that. And, everyone wants to, make sure that their home looks nice.
You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Telling a 17-year-old or a 14-year-old, you're going to need more than, this many clients. I knew I had a business at this many clients that could sustain itself.
Yeah. Well, I started to realize that there is a lot of business for it once you start to get yourself out there. It started as like, let me try this, because I had some time. I took some time off here. I didn't really want to go back to the corporate world or the the retail establishment because I was 50 years old at the time that happened, and it was a bad feeling.
Oh wow, hold on, you got to say that again, because those who go over YouTube not going to believe that. Yeah, they can say 50. What?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I was 50, yeah. Man, and it was a bad feeling. I had never been laid off like that before, and I was just like, man. I was like, I don't want to ever feel like that again. That was not a good feeling, like they could just dispose of you like that. Like I gave you 10 years of my life and my hard work and sweat. And they just one day just said, yeah, sorry about your luck. Here's a ham sandwich and a roadmap. And I was just like, what? And then from there, I just have to rethink things. And I was like, I never want to do it. And when I started doing it and I started getting even if it was just a couple clients here and there, it felt great. I'd come home, I feel like, wow, this is amazing, man. I have to be be there at a certain time. Like all I have to do is do good work, and people are happy. And it's not that difficult to please the client. I mean, I enjoyed just people being happy with and trusting me in what I can do, and that was it. But yeah, I was 50 years old. Oh, 50. I'm 51 now, but you know, um, you know, luckily I still have the physicality and the will to be able to do this currently.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm telling you, and please let people know, when you started the business, was it something that maybe, did you have an esposa? Did you have a wife or a girlfriend that was supporting, or maybe sometimes the opposite? Because sometimes that opposite will push you further to say, oh, I got to make this work.
That's a great point, man. Yes, I do. I have a wife, and at first, obviously, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Like, she's homemaker. She wasn't working, and I'm like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And that's how I started it. But yes, once I told her, she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's good business. I think, I can do it, no problem. And my mom was like, "Oh, aren't you a little old?" And I was like, "No, like, what do you mean? I'm in good shape. Like I work out, like I go to the gym. Like I'm fine. Like if I don't do this, you're gonna die, right?" So, but yeah, my wife gave me all the support in the world, and she actually she used to come out with me and help me out on jobs. So she's like, "I'll come help you." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." She put on the boots, and she was out there with her with her Webo shirt, and she was pressure cleaning away. So it was I was glad to have that backup from her.
So within this, year and some change of having the business, how many clients would you say you have serviced in that time?
And the year, or
Yeah.
wow, that's a good question. I couldn't give you an answer on that one. Um, I would say, I don't know, I mean, you're talking about, let me see, 4. I would say, I don't know, 500.
Ready to dominate your industry with strategy that actually scales? At Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, we're not just PR experts, we're licensed sports agents certified in AI and elite business consultants with over 2 decades of experience leading global projects across multiple countries. Visit cprfirm.com, that's colemanprfirm.com, and millionairex.ai. Then download the Millionaire X app, your AI powered guide to getting out of debt, investing smarter, and building generational wealth. Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm. It's a family business, it's different.
And maybe just under that, like, I can't really give you a number because I mean, when you first start, you don't really keep track of a lot of things. You're just like, oh, what do I do next? And you're just kind of learning, which it was a great learning experience for me. And I'm really glad I did. I just wish I would have done it sooner.
And that is a great point when you start off in business, because so often, like I've been doing business over 20 years, so people say, oh, everything is so easy, and it's like, no, I've had to make systems, but I've had to make mistakes. Have you gone to your local SCORE, or now it's called Apex Accelerator, another organization right next door, or even SBA, not necessarily for loans, but any of the cohorts or the chambers? What did you do to get the education on how to run a business?
Well, I used to, I back a few years back, I had a small little business, that I did, but I didn't have it forever. I had an ice cream shop. So I just had some bad luck at that time. And, but I've always been, I've always had the hustle. I've always had the mindset. And, sometimes it was just a matter of getting the backing. But in this particular case, I didn't have to, go through any SBAs or, so everything was not having to get any loans or anything like that. But I mean, it's just the hustle, man. You learn from YouTube University a lot of the stuff, and how to do certain things, the techniques, and that's really all I needed. So, and then you implement your own stuff.
And now, when you said the ice cream truck, I'm from Oakland, California. So some folks said the ice cream man.
No,
Yeah,
I had an ice cream shop and an ice cream truck.
yeah.
I remember those ice cream
Trucks, though. I love old things.
Yeah,
You don't see them around anymore.
No, and I wish they were, because I'll still run after a truck if I do. Like, hold on, tell my kid did that.
Yeah.
But no, that's beautiful. So, handling your books, you were already, quite familiar with, a ledger and that. What did you go anywhere outside, or did you read any book to maybe learn, some more things that might have changed since the last time you were in business for yourself?
Well, I do a lot of reading. I didn't read any books per se. Because my life is a little crazy sometimes, and I just can't find the time. But I have plenty of books here that I see and I read about, or just a lot of internet research. You can learn so much stuff, like, just by doing research and that. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Okay, like, the big guys who've done it all, the Grant Cardones of the world, the Brad Lees of the world, those guys, they're very motivational, and just how to do business, and just having that mindset is really what I would go to, because podcasts you can listen to while you work. It's great.
Definitely. And a podcast is, to me, almost like a current audio book, depending on how long somebody goes. But one thing, and you don't know this about this podcast, but I sometimes tease people about Grant Cardone because I've read his books, but I don't like people going in debt. And so I like the Dave Ramsey approach of things.
Listen to him too. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And so I tease because, you know, there's certain things people will say and it's like, okay, that's cool. But the other side of it, oh, hold on. And we're a people first type of business. But one thing you won't get from a Grant Cardone or Burn Your Leisure podcast, I said it right, y'all. I want to make sure we're different over here. But I want to know, you know, most service businesses, I'm a consultant. I help people make money. Most service businesses, they die on one-time jobs. So tell us, how do you turn a one-time job into a customer who pays you again and again and again?
So by creating the model of restoration, like every 6 months, every semi-annually, or every year, like not a membership, but like just like a service, like anything else. Like, hey, if you do the service every 6 months, you know, you get discounts, blah blah blah, because it's going to be up, you know, kept up by doing it every 6 months, and you won't have, you know, won't be as dirty. And you know, obviously I could do it for much less, because much less is less chemical, less labor, and you know, you would have to do like a program, which I do on certain people like that. We were like, hey, can you do this every 6 months? You know, can you do it every year for me? Can you, you know, because South Florida is, like, I feel, is one of the best areas to have a pressure cleaning business or pressure washing business, because here we have so much rain, so much, you know, the mold, the heat, all the time. It's year round. You can't say that about most places up north, and you know, you got snow and stuff, so it's not, you know, here I feel it's the best state where you can have a pressure washing business.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think you guys, if you're only doing it once every 6 months, at least out here in the boondocks that I'm in, we need it more than that, especially if you use your backyard.
Yeah.
But you know, is South Florida home for you? I'm not from here, so
Yeah.
I sometimes say maybe it's me. Is this home for you? Where you're from?
I'm originally from Panama City, Panama. Uh, uh, but I came here when I was very young, and I've been here pretty much South Florida all my life. I mean, I started in Miami, and I just kind of worked my way up slowly. You know, every year, you know, whatever, I would move. So I ended up here in the West Palm Beach area, and you know, I've been here for some time now. I think like maybe 15 years. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
mostly South Florida. Never really lived anywhere else.
And you guys don't know, in the beginning of the interviews, I always say to people, the next move is on two. And if you don't know Spanish, but here's a man from Panama. I'm telling that too. But I said that, you know, you know, everybody knows who even listens to me. They know, you know, mi español es mal, pero practico todos los días. I want the best price wherever I go. So whether I'm in Ecuador or me and my family are residents of Mexico, when I'm in Mexico, I want the best deal. So you got to learn a little of the language, whether you're in Kenya or anywhere in the world, especially you guys who like. Yeah, especially guys who like to go to Colombia and try to, you know what y'all are buying, doing too much out there. Learn the language, find real love. But you know, with the Panama connection, because it's very heavy Cuban and Haitian here. You know, I don't see as many like Panamanian restaurants or even beauty salons. How big is the Panamanian population here in Palm Beach County?
That's a great question. Not very big. I mean, we don't have, you know, the country is in not as bad as shape as most of these other countries you mentioned. So people don't really leave from there. Um, and I've been here now, oh God, 4 decades, and I can probably count on one hand how many actual Panamanians I've run into.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Or
Well, I thought
or
it was.
you know, I would hear like, "Oh, you're Panamanian? Oh, I have a friend that's Panamanian, but I never physically met these people." You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
can probably tell you one hand how many I've met physically. They're like, "Oh, you're from Panama?" Oh, yeah, but very rare. You know, and being in the retail business and seeing so many people, you'd think I'd see a lot more, but I haven't. It's crazy.
Well, that might be a good sign because many Americans are trying to get to Panama to retire,
Yeah.
you know, and so that
Good
tells
spot.
you some.
It's
Yeah.
it's a good spot.
Yeah, and I just hope you guys go over there and try to speak more Spanish. And I hear some of you guys online saying you don't need to learn Spanish. Go learn the language like you want people to learn the language when you're sitting here in Idaho and everywhere else. But yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And you can get residency and citizenship out there in Panama too. So people are, I'm collecting residencies and citizenship. So I'm like, we're looking at Panama, but I'm trying to get Mexico and some other places together because Panama's not cheap as people think it is.
No. Very Americanized. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to Brickell. Have you been to Brickell?
I have not. Well, no, I have.
So down south, Brickell area is very nice. Nice area. Put it like this: Panama is pretty much like Brickell, all of it. The city. It's amazing. Like it makes Brickell look like a small little pea in comparison to what Panama is. I mean, it's really, really nice, really nice. So maybe that's why people don't leave there. I don't know. But it's not cheap. You're right.
Yeah, and they use the U.S. dollar if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
so
yes.
yeah,
They do.
yeah. So whenever I see that, I didn't come for that. I came here I came to spend pesos. Some I need something else, but no. So going back to your business and starting the business, did you cash flow at all? Did friends and family have to help? How did you get the equipment? Because the equipment is not cheap either.
No, it's not the right equipment. No, I mean you can get cheap equipment, but it's not going to do the job. But no, I had been in this business, like I said, for 23 years, and I did well for myself. I mean, I was a finance director of the dealership for many years, and it's one of the top positions in the dealership. Very stressful, but it pays very well. So, I had some money, put away. I took some time off, and during that time off, I just enjoyed, building the business, like, doing all of it, from building the trailer to doing the marketing to building your Facebook page, from building your Instagram, all that stuff, taking the photos, doing the videos. It just becomes like that's what you do. Like, and it was a really good feeling. So I'm really glad I did it. Like I said before, like the only thing I regret is not hadn't done it sooner. That's all.
Hello everyone. Come along with London and Sydney as they show you around the vibrant country of Cameroon. We explore the heart of Africa through the eyes of London and Sydney. Two explorers who journey across the great city of Yaoundé, exploring its rich culture, vibrant market squares, cultural heritage, and wildlife. With giggles and excitement, London and Sydney Explore Cameroon takes you on a fun-filled adventure, providing insight into the country's culture and traditions through the pages of this book. It's packed with exciting stories and super cool facts about Cameroon that will make you go, wow. Get your copy now. Available on Amazon and in libraries near you. There's only one easy way to experience the exploration, and it's through London and Sydney. Don't wait, get yours.
The courage to be able to do your business, a lot of people cannot jump off the cliff and say, let me go see because I have no parachute. What were some things that, pushed you and helped you along the way that can help somebody where they can just make the leap?
It's tough, man. It's tough. Like, as I started doing it, and I was talking to people or friends or whoever, and they're like, oh man, oh wow, that's, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. And I tell them, I say, you could, like, just, you know what I figured out was, like, everybody says, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And, but people are scared. But until you start doing it, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. But if you never actually start the train ain't gonna move unless you're moving it. So once you get the momentum, you're like, man, like all I had to do was just try this. Like I just had to do it. And there's so many things out there that you see. People say, oh, I'm making money doing this, making money. That's great. And everybody will just skim right through it and be like, oh, I'm gonna do that. But they don't do it. It sounds great, but they don't do it. All these things require work. And a lot of people think that that you just one day magically wake up and you become successful. And that's definitely not the truth. You do go through some hard times. You do second guess yourself at times, but you gotta stay the course, run the play, and the results will speak for themselves.
Can you tell the people your scariest financial moment thus far and how you survived it?
Well, I got there really quick, really not really quick, but it was a few months in, where you kind of contemplating like, what do I do? Do I do this? Do I not do this? Like, do I go back to the business? What do I do? Like, and then your wife's getting concerned. You're trying not to, but there was a time, definitely, where and then where I was, I was like, I need to make a move here. Like, I need to know what to do. And then I spoke to this gentleman who had been in air conditioning business for a long time. And I asked him, I was like, hey man, I was like, listen, bro, I'm really struggling. I had this home service business that I kind of explained the whole story to him. And he mentioned a couple of things that I should do. And these are things that I didn't know. And he's like, look, and he showed me his lead flow. And it was crazy. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. So I tried it, and next thing you know, I start getting a little bit more leads where I'm not paying an absorbent amount of money for, little by little. And then, you start to get the reviews, and you start to get the website clicks, and next thing you know, it's just enough to get you going. But it wasn't enough to be like, hey, I'm a millionaire, because that's, that takes time. So, but it was enough to kind of keep the train rolling at a smooth pace where you could still pay your bills. You're like, okay, I got a job here today. I got 2 jobs tomorrow. And as you go out, you pick up other jobs. Like, you're there and you make one job, make it into 3 jobs, and, little by little. And that's, once you have one job, you have the opportunity to get more jobs when you're there, So, and that's really how it kind of went down. And little by little, here I am.
Now you hear you've made it. That first year can be, they say, the hardest, and then the next 10. I'm big on investing in, like, Warren Buffett's and the Dave Ramsey's tell you, in the mutual funds, so you can retire, and then everything else is extra.
Sure.
But what would you say, to the people, they're listening to you, they're saying, man, I need a book. I need a course. I need a pamphlet. Have you gotten to the point where you can write some things down and maybe do some mentorship, and maybe it's paid mentorship? I don't want to waste your time this early in the game, but is there anything out there that you could think of, for the young men or even the ladies? His wife was out there. Y'all can do it too. I don't want to be a total chauvinist, but I'm 45 years old. This is how they raised me to be. So yeah, is there anything there that people could maybe reach out and maybe come part of the team or partner up with you and learn?
Well, I mean, I could tell you a couple books that I started reading. There's 2 in particular. This is a while ago, but I haven't read anything recently. But that mindset was always been there, which is the Think and Grow Rich, and The Richest Man in Babylon. Those are the 2 books that I can remember that kind of, there was a lot of stuff on there where, it just kind of sticks with you, but I just, recently I haven't had any time for any books, but those 2 books there were definitely something that, and that was a while ago. And it's always, a lot of stuff from that book has always stuck to my head.
Yeah, 2 great books. Yeah. And again, I'm teasing Grant Cardone, but 10X to me was a good book, just because Grant Cardone would sell his children out to get a sale. I mean, he'll take it to a level that I will never be able to take it to, but that, everybody has their race.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, and again, this is early in the game for you possibly, but I get so blessed whenever the government calls me, because we're registered to do government contracting for over a decade. And when the government comes, the work, you're always happy if you know how to negotiate and how to set it up. Have you looked into the government side of things? Because they do, in Palm Beach and all these surrounding cities, in the county, even federally, buy your service.
That's I haven't gotten into that, but that really sounds like my next plan. Sounds like, I mean, if they have that type of government contract, who wouldn't want that? I mean, that's
I
Awesome.
just sent it to you. I just sent you a playlist, free
Perfect.
playlist on YouTube that can take you. It's a little dated, but the information is still there where once you register and you go through the whole rigmarole, it's, it's set up for people to at least get their shot. And it's not a get rich quick, but the type of work that you do and the type of business that you do, and guess what? Hurricane season is coming. So we're all gonna need you again and again and again.
Oh yeah.
That's just how it is. So yeah, you'll see that link. And if you guys want to see that link, hit me up in the description or email me. It's on my Killing Cash YouTube, not the Diversified game, but on my Killing Cash YouTube, because I want everybody to win. I got another early question for you, but I don't think it's ever too early to be able to give back. Can you let the people know you've had success? What's a community give back that you're doing, or one that you would maybe like to do in the future? And if there's a way for people to help you, please let us know how we can help you with that. But anything come to mind on a give back?
I'm into like sports, and stuff, and back in the day, like I used to be big into like sponsoring, the little league teams, and the stuff for the kids. I like doing those type of things for them. Maybe getting the names in the shirts, or supplying them with shirts or something like that. Those things have always been fun. But as far as like big type of, I'm not there yet. So, hopefully one day I can get there.
Okay, I can hear somebody say, I sometimes can hear the guests. I'm gonna say, but where did the name come from? Give us the story on that.
So, the name. So I was in Texas, in Dallas, Texas, in a conference or whatever it was, and for the dealership, and we drove by this place, and it was called it was like Webo Industries, like it was like WEBO Industries or something like it was like that. And I kept looking at the sign, and I was just like looking at the name because it had the W, and I go by Willie, as a nickname. A lot of people call me Willie, and just the W like stood out for me so much. And for whatever reason, that name just stuck in my head forever, ever. I don't even know why. And I was like, when I started the band, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use that name that was out in Texas. I mean, we're talking probably 10 years ago. Like, it was just like a name that just stuck in my head, and I don't know why I liked it so much. And I kind of liked it. It kind of flowed, and that's kind of how I did it. That was it. There was no real rhyme or reason for it.
Okay, and people, who aren't familiar, they're gonna say, wait, how do you go from Guillermo to Willie? Because that's the William of Espanol, y'all.
There
That's
you
why.
go.
Yeah. So,
Not many people know that. So you know that.
I'm the nosiest person you're gonna meet, and that's why I have a business too. I just go down the rabbit hole and say, or go down that street, and you can end up in some interesting places, and you never know who you'll meet, and they'll teach you something. Always. I want to leave you with an inspiration for yourself, because I know it's not always easy to record when you're in other people's houses, but there is a YouTube channel waiting for you. And I say YouTube because they pay the most if you can get things started, but not just the work that you're doing that people know of, even behind the scenes, and giving that inspiration, because wisdom is at an all-time low. As we were talking earlier, you could see two cats fighting and it will get more views than us trying to give the game to people.
Yeah.
So if you ever get the niche, whether it's body cam, I know for security reasons, there's certain things that I wouldn't want in my house shown, but there's also some things you can show where it's just you and the work that you're doing, or this type of grime right here, you guys, or get the owner's permission. I'd love to see that for you, especially with the family business. Who knows? Maybe others come aboard, primo, they come and they say, hey, we want to help with this, because they surely want money. You know, everybody has a family.
They want money, but they don't want to do what it takes to get the money, right?
Yeah. We got to use everybody, you know, for their talents, because not everybody will have the same talents, but I truly think everybody is talented in something you can do. Even that loudmouth, you know, cousin we all have, who all he likes to do is talk. Well, he's your marketer. Go out there, talk to every chica that you see, give her the flyer, give her the card, and let's get going. And I'd also like to say, with the government contracting, being a sub is not a bad thing. I actually prefer that work because we're not a big company at this point, but it's very peaceful that I could do a year's of work and I don't have to worry about, you know, the 5-year contract. I also don't get the same benefit, but it's enough. And with enough, if you do the right thing, you can take it. So I just say that government contracting, you and I, after you watch those videos, you might have some questions, but it's out here heavy.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Now it's World Cup season. You see, I got my Cape Verde stuff on because they're the only last African team that has a chance. Just bought this over the weekend. What team are you going for in the World Cup?
Oh, we got to go for USA, man. I mean, you know, I've been here pretty much all my life. You know, it's given me a lot of opportunity, and, you know, why wouldn't I root for them?
Got you. I'm going for the USA too, but I can't go for the USA because I'm a Raider fan. So you know what happens to us in the third quarter if I go for the team. So I bought this. I can safely put this on because my wife is from Cameroon and Cape Verde kicked us out. So it's kind of like the Celtic Pride, if you could remember that movie, all from the 90s. But this is our payback, maybe. I don't know. I'm representing. But
we gotta represent.
Let people know again where they can find you, and I want them to hit you up and encourage you too to get your book, get your YouTube, because the best is yet to come.
Appreciate that. So it's Webo, WEBO, pressurecleaning.com, and my number is 561-928-2577 for all your pressure cleaning needs.
You guys You're welcome. You guys have got the game. Whether you're inspired or you need somebody from Palm Beach, I don't care if you're in Miami. Let's expand the business and let him start hiring even people further out. Franchise, hey, only God knows. But what you guys can do, besides comment, besides like, wherever you experience this, please share this game with somebody. It's free. And guess what? It will change somebody's life. Y'all be blessed out there.
Hi everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, you know, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.
Are you tired of the violence, tired of the injustice, police brutality, rampant discrimination, lack of gun control in this failed biased socioeconomic experiment called America? Or maybe you need a break from the relentless grind and want to regain control of your destiny, your wealth, your health, and your purpose. DiversifiedGame.com has the right course for you. Prepare for my first trip to Africa. Looking to reconnect with your roots, start a new business, or just a fresh start? Africa, aka the motherland, is waiting. Don't let the Chinese and the Mzungus have the fun and also take over the motherland. From Cairo to Mombasa, from Dakar to Cape Town, Africa has something for everyone, from business opportunities to the most amazing people, safety, leisure, and landscapes. The opportunities abound. It is time for the diaspora to reconnect with their roots. Time to reconnect with the birthplace of humanity. Africa is the last frontier. Get your head in the game and reclaim your legacy. The writing is on the wall. Babylon is falling. Give up the stress, grind, and violence inflicted on our people on this continent and prepare for a journey of restoration and joy by connecting with the land of your ancestors. Check out our new course and kick off your adventure at diversifiedgame.com.